Hello, everyone. My name is Steve, and I wanted to give a quick demo around what we achieved in phase two for Cell 1.0. Um, we've finished this phase earlier this week, and yeah, I wanted to give a quick demo. So the main goal around phase two was to deploy a new service, which is what we're calling the HTTP router in front of GitLab.com in the simplest form possible, which is pass through what we're calling pass through proxy, meaning it doesn't look at anything around the request, just sends it back to uh, the existing GitLab.com. This acts as a building block for future phases where we'll start looking at data from in the request and start proxying the request to the correct cell. So if we have multiple cells, we'll know to which cell we're gonna direct it to. So um, the main exit criteria were 100% pass-through proxy, which I will show later on. The latency target, meaning we had a 50 millisecond target, and we achieved that because our P99 in latency increase is 15 milliseconds. So there's no really visible user impact to any request that's reaching GitLab.com, which is what we wanted, right? So um, if we look at the HTTP router, it's a brand new service written in TypeScript, running on a somewhat brand new platform for us here at GitLab, which is Cloudflare Workers. We've had used Cloudflare Workers in the past, but not to this extent and not to this scale. So um, it's a simple service right now, but we're adding more things to it around routing. But a few things we've done is since it's on a brand new platform, we try to do some things a bit better, or at least trying to mimic what Runway has. So every time you merge to main, that commit is deployed to production within less than an hour, which is something very different to what we're used to on GitLab or GitLab. So here we can see the deployment pipeline and ops here, where we deploy to staging, deploy to production, run the QA tests for both, and we have a one-click button to roll back the version as well. And as I said, we try to mimic Runway as much as possible. So even the deployments are done in a gradual way and with the same kind of percentage rollout. So for example, here we see, if we look here, the new version is running on 5%, the old version is running on 95%. And at a later stage, we increase the traffic on the new version to 25 and reduce the percentage of the old version to 75. And this is all done automatically. Right now, it does not look at an ESLIs, unfortunately. That's a future improvement we can make. So I wanted to also show you the amount of traffic that's going through this HTTP router. So if we go to workers here and just search for HTTP router, we have one for staging, one for production. We wanted to keep the deployments separate, just if we do any configuration changes, we can easily do that just on staging or prod. So if we look here and look at the requests, so we can see in the last 24 hours, we served around 2.8 billion requests, and we're sitting around 30K requests per second on a normal day. And if we look at the CPU, this is the median, so it doesn't look at tail latencies, but this is around 1 millisecond, and if we filter just for a specific version, we look that the P99 is around 12 milliseconds, and sometimes the P99.9 just jumps from time to time, but that's something that we can investigate later on. And all this information is actually also available inside of Grafana, which is mostly what the engineer on call will use. And here we can see the usual error ratio, RPS, saturation metrics, and things like that. And here we see um, about the CPU duration. And if we go to all environments, we actually see end-to-end latency monitoring as well. So something new that we did is we included pingdom metrics inside of Mimir, which we didn't have before. You'd have to log into the pingdom UI. We introduced that here, so we can see the latency for pingdom as well. Um, We also have logging. Logging is an unfortunate lot inside of Kibana, but it is in their Cloudflare Worker platform logging, where we can see the logs here and filter by logs and things like that. I won't expand these just because they have IPs and so on and so forth, right? Um, Let's see if there's anything else. So continuous delivery, deployments, observability. Yeah, so this covers all of it. It was a huge amount of work with a lot of participants, as we can see here. We ended up closing around 74 issues. And yeah, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.